Hello everyone, and welcome back to Weirdly Forgotten. I'm your host Ripon, and today we're standing before a truly monumental enigma. Behind me is a fortress of staggering scale, a palace seemingly pulled from the pages of a fairy tale. It was designed for kings and queens, with walls meant to echo with the sounds of royal life, grand balls, and political intrigue. But those sounds never came. This is the story of a castle built for royalty, yet no one ever lived here. The question that has puzzled historians for centuries is simple. Why did an empire pour a fortune into building an empty castle? Stick around as we unravel the mystery. From a distance, it's a breathtaking sight. Towers scrape the sky, and massive stone walls stretch across the landscape, projecting an image of unshakable power and immense wealth. As you get closer, the details emerge: intricate carvings, grand archways, and sprawling courtyards designed for elaborate ceremonies. The craftsmanship is undeniable. Every stone was laid with a purpose, every window placed to capture the perfect light. This wasn't just a building. It was intended to be the heart of a dynasty, a beacon of its strength and permanence. It was meant to be a home, a fortress, and a declaration to the world. But as we step through its colossal gates, an eerie silence greets us. The grand halls are vacant, the throne room is just an empty space, and the royal apartments have never known the warmth of a fire. It feels like a stage for a play that was cancelled moments before the curtain rose. So, what happened? Why was this magnificent project abandoned at the 11th hour? The answer isn't a single event, but a perfect storm of political turmoil that swept through the empire just as the castle neared completion. The ruling monarch, the very person who commissioned this grand vision, found their reign suddenly destabilized. Internal power struggles erupted within the court, with ambitious nobles vying for influence and challenging the throne. Factions formed, loyalties shifted, and the kingdom teetered on the brink of civil war. The resources that were once flowing freely into the castle's construction were abruptly diverted. Money, manpower, and political will were now desperately needed to quell rebellions, pay soldiers, and secure the monarch's wavering grip on power. The dream of a new royal residence became a luxury the empire could no longer afford. The construction site, once buzzing with thousands of workers, fell silent. Scaffolding was left to rot, and piles of uncut stone became silent monuments to a project frozen in time. The political situation went from bad to worse. The monarch who began the project passed away, leaving behind a contested succession. Their heir, inheriting a kingdom in chaos, had far more pressing concerns than completing a lavish palace. The focus shifted from building symbols of prestige to simply holding the empire together. Decades passed, and with each new ruler, the castle fell further into obscurity. It became a relic of a bygone era, a reminder of a grand ambition that had been swallowed by the harsh realities of politics. The fortress, designed to be the ultimate symbol of the dynasty's power, ironically became a monument to its decline. It stood as a silent witness to the infighting and instability that ultimately weakened the very empire it was meant to glorify. The world moved on, and the unfinished castle was left to the elements, a ghost on the landscape. Now, here's where the story takes an even more fascinating turn. Although no king or queen ever took up residence, the castle wasn't entirely useless. Its very existence served a powerful purpose. Even in its unfinished state, the sheer scale of the fortress was a potent symbol. For neighboring kingdoms and potential rivals, it was a clear and intimidating message. This is the kind of power we wield. This is the wealth we can command. Even in our moment of internal struggle, we are capable of projects on this epic scale. It became a strategic asset without ever housing a single soldier. It was a tool of psychological warfare, a stone and mortar deterrent that projected an image of strength even when the reality was one of internal weakness. The empty castle became a legend, a story whispered in foreign courts about the immense power of the empire that built it. Its creators may have passed away, their dynasty may have crumbled, but their ultimate statement of power outlived them all. And so, we walk through these empty halls today. The wind whistles through the vacant corridors, creating a haunting melody where orchestras were meant to play. You can almost feel the echoes of what might have been, the ghost of an ambition so grand it defied its own failure. Each chamber tells a story not of what happened, but of what was supposed to happen. This was meant to be a nursery for royal heirs. This grand hall was designed for lavish feasts, and this throne room was where a monarch would have shaped the fate of nations. The castle stands not as a failure, but as a complex and poignant symbol of human ambition, the unpredictable nature of power, and the enduring legacy of a dream. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful statements are the ones left unspoken, and the most imposing structures are the ones left empty. It wasn't a home, but it was, and still is, a declaration. This incredible place forces us to think about the nature of legacy. What do we build to be remembered by? The rulers who commissioned this fortress intended it to be the crowning achievement of their reign, a symbol of their golden age. Instead, it became a tombstone for their dynasty, a magnificent ruin that tells a story of collapse rather than triumph. Yet centuries later, here we are. We are still talking about them. We are still marveling at their vision and their audacity. In a strange and ironic twist, their failure to complete the castle has made it more famous, more mysterious, and perhaps more memorable than if it had simply been one of many royal palaces. It has become a destination for explorers, historians, and dreamers like us, drawn in by the profound mystery of its silent halls. The ambition was so immense that even in its incomplete form, it continues to capture the imagination of the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of this forgotten fortress. The stories of places like this remind us that history is filled with fascinating contradictions, and that even empty spaces can be filled with meaning. If you enjoyed this exploration, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to Weirdly Forgotten for more adventures into the overlooked corners of our world. Let us know in the comments if you've ever heard of a place with a story like this one. Until next time, stay curious.